We've got Fabrice from Pilat Media. Hello,
That's
Fabrice.
right. Hi, John. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for coming on.
Sure, my pleasure.
I've asked this of nearly every guest that's turned up. Could you give us a little overview of Pilat Media and what you're all about?
Of course, with pleasure. Pilat Media is a public company, actually, based out of the UK, with a very global footprint. We develop software, and that software is called business management software. And really, you can think of it as the back office software that helps TV operations basically run themselves.
Okay.
So it supports all the different workflows, business level workflows and operational workflows related to programming, scheduling, traffic, ad sales, rights management. And of course, this has evolved tremendously over the past years, from managing a few linear channels to managing multi-platform, multi-screen operations. Now we do this, we have about 65 clients worldwide, and some of the blue chip companies, let's say, we work with are CBS in the US or AT&T. We work with Sky Italia. We work with Fox Sports or E! Entertainment. So a lot of large companies.
So you've been around a while. You've been in the broadcast business for a while now, and so you've got a lot of big blue chip clients. You'll get to see what's happening in the broadcast industry sometimes before a lot of other people. You get to get an idea of the trends that's happening. So as far as, people have talked a lot about the changing in investing in broadcast infrastructure and broadcast technology. As far as investments go, are you seeing a change in the trend with your clients on how they want to invest in new infrastructure, invest in new technologies like yourself?
There are trends and there are budgeted projects, and they don't all happen at the same time necessarily. Trends may be indicator of what may happen later. Certainly what we see, let's say this year in 2013, which I have to say is not very different from the past, let's say, few years, is that broadcasters are investing a lot, I believe, or actively, in transforming themselves to support the new multi-screen, multi-platform environment, out of necessity, because that's where viewers are. So that's driving investments. But at the same time, the revenues tied to this type of services are not necessarily there yet. So the question is, how do you invest but stay as efficient as possible by automating as much as the processes to deliver these new types of services, which may not yet bring the type of revenue one could expect. So I think these are important drivers. Multi-platform, efficiency, and then progressively we're seeing emergence of the cloud models. Although I think the broadcast industry is still at a very early stage of that, but it does bring certain opportunities in terms of investment in transforming how budgets are applied and how money is spent, from capital to more operational expenditures.
So obviously always speaking to clients, there's new trends, people wanting new systems from you. This is IBC. Is there anything new from Pilat this year? There certainly are new functionality, new elements to the product. There are also new clients that join our community. We recently announced clients like Stars out of the US, or Network 7 in Australia. So we cover really the whole globe. In terms of the product functionality, we're still quite focused by supporting as much as possible the efficiency in multi-platform services. So we have a lot of tools in our product, which is called IBMS. I guess I should have said that earlier, maybe, but to support nonlinear service management, defining what programming, what content goes on what outlet, what brand of service, nonlinear service, whether it's a VOD service, whether it's a catch-up service. And defining the programming and automatically generating all the media that comes together with that programming. And that is becoming extremely complex and automation is tools to automate these processes are really necessary.
Yeah.
So we continue to, and we have new functionality and new features in that area. Another aspect that I would also bring up that we are announcing here at the show is more a suite of cloud-based solutions, because there are also smaller broadcasters that need now to quickly launch channels and new new services, and they don't necessarily have the capacity yet to build their own operation.
Sure.
So we're trying to provide flexible ways to deploy our software. Smaller feature set, more simplified workflows, cloud-based, quicker implementations. So that kind of addressing, I think, a new type of need that's strongly emerging now in the market.
And talking about cloud-based, a lot of people have mentioned it this year. Do you think that over the next few years, cloud-based solutions will be going more from just the smaller feature set up to something much bigger, similar that you would have had in a more local environment?
I think it's possible, but the cloud in the broadcasting, there are many applications of the cloud for the broadcast industry, from manipulating media, things like transcoding and so on, to editing media, all the way to managing workflows and metadata. So we're a bit more in the later part through our activities. Certainly, the cloud can offer some benefits to broadcasters of all sizes, but it has to meet kind of this viable universe of providing security, the levels of security, the levels of performance, the levels of availability, and the type of SLA that, if we're talking about larger broadcasters, they would expect from a system. And so I think it's progressively happening, and like I mentioned earlier, I don't think it's quite there yet, for everyone, but it's certainly something that from the public cloud providers, the Amazons, the Microsoft, Azure, and so on, we're going to see.
Fabrice, thank you much for coming on and telling us a bit about Pilat Media. If people want to find you, do you know what stand you're on?
I do happen to know that. Yes, we're in Hall 2, and the booth is B30.
Brilliant. Fabrice, and if people want to find you on the web?
On the web, absolutely. They can find us at www.pilatmedia.com.
Thank you very much, Fabrice.
Thank
Go
you.
and have a look at the website if you're not getting here at IBC. Pilatmedia.com is the place to be. Of course, if you are coming around to IBC here in Amsterdam, it's Hall 2, B30, to go and have a look at their stand.